From Glory to Curse, the Story of Lucifer. The war between the angels and demons, between heaven and the underworld, provided inspiration for countless books, movies, computer games, and more. According to Christian belief, shortly after the creation of the world, the great angel Lucifer arose and led a third of the heavenly army to rebel against the God. After a hard war, Lucifer was defeated by the archangel Michael, and he and the other rebel angels were thrown into hell, which was created as a prison for them. After his fall, Lucifer became Satan, the lord of all evil. And the fallen angels became demons. From that time to this day, they fight against the forces of good for the souls of men, and try to corrupt them and destroy the world. The scriptures clearly teach that the devil exists. First, Satan is mentioned in 7 books of the Bible: Genesis, 1 Chronicles, Job, Psalms, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Zechariah. In addition, he is mentioned in 19 of the 27 books of the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the book of Revelation, and more. The book of Ezekiel describes a picture in which God began the work of creation. He chose to limit himself to a certain plan or pattern that he did not want to deviate from. When the animals were created, they fulfilled a certain part of this pattern or plan. When man was created, he fulfilled another part of this plan, and the angels fulfilled another part. But when God created this particular individual, he sealed the plan. In doing so, he completely completed the pattern he designed in the fields of wisdom and beauty. This means that of all the created beings, Lucifer, or Satan as he is called, is much wiser and more beautiful. He was a whole, perfect, innocent at the time of his creation. God created him without any flaw. He was so perfect that he was given a special ability, the power to choose the opposite thing, the ability to choose in a way or something that is contrary to one's nature. He was holy and perfect, but he was able to decide and choose an imperfect and unholy choice. In the book of Isaiah 14 verse 12, the devil is called Hillel ben Shahar. The Latin translation is Lucifer, which, based on this passage, became the name of Satan. In the book of Revelation 22 verse 16, we are aware of the fact that Satan's plan was to imitate God's plan, and indeed it was. Isaiah 14 verses 14 to 13 details how he initiated his plan. I will ascend to the heavens. As a guardian of God's holiness, Satan had access to heaven. But here is expressed his desire to conquer and settle in heaven as equal to God. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. The meaning of this sentence depends on the understanding of the word kokwe el, God's stars. If it means angels, then Satan seeks to rule over all angels. If it means the heavenly bodies, then his desire to rule the heavens. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. This indicates Satan's ambition to rule the world as the assembly of the Babylonian gods allegedly did. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. He wanted the honor that belongs to God. I will make myself like the Most High. Here it is very clear, Satan wanted to be like them. The word supreme emphasizes God's power and sovereignty, Genesis 18 verse 18. The devil wanted to be powerful like that. He wanted to use, in this world, the authority and control that belonged to God alone. His sin was a direct challenge to God's power and authority. Satan's sin was all the more heinous because of the great privileges, intelligence, and high status he possessed. In addition, his sin was more harmful because of its widespread influence on angels and humans. Every sin is serious and every sin affects others. But sin in high places is more serious and its consequences are more extensive. The book of Job is the first source in the Bible that describes an angel known as Satan, whose job it is to try humans with evil torments. Satan is not described in it as an independent being, but as another angel of God. This is how God commanded Satan regarding Job, and the Lord said to the devil, "Behold, all that he has in your hand, only do not put your hand to him." Job 1 verse 12. Let's go back to Lucifer. Lucifer had an air of mystery and danger that was hard to resist. He had a commanding presence that made the people around him feel both awe and fear. His voice was deep and powerful, and his words were full of wisdom and power. He was a creature of beauty, power and mystery. Lucifer was not satisfied with his life in heaven, and he began to wonder why God created him. He wanted to understand why he was given such power and why he was forced to worship God. He became more and more resentful and jealous of the other angels and wanted to be more powerful than God. Lucifer's dissatisfaction led him to look for answers to his questions. Frustrated and angry, he declared war on heaven, determined to find the answers he wanted. Even if it means destroying God and all of heaven in the process. In the Garden of Eden, he tempted Adam and Eve with the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge. This temptation was part of Lucifer's plan to corrupt God's perfect creation and disrupt the relationship between God and humanity, by persuading Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. Adam and Eve, unaware of Lucifer's plan, fall to his temptations and ate the fruit. This is how sin entered the world and caused humanity to be expelled from heaven. He wanted to prove that he was more powerful than God, and he wanted to be the one in control of his own destiny. He wanted to be able to make his own decisions and not be bound by the rules or regulations of heaven. He wanted to be free to do what he wanted, when he wanted, without any consequences. Lucifer gathered an army of angels who shared his desire for independence, and they set out to challenge God and take over heaven. His soldiers were a group of angels who sided with Lucifer in the war in heaven. Originally created to serve God, they chose to rebel against him and join Lucifer in his quest for power and independence. His followers included up to a third of all the angels in heaven. The main motives for joining Lucifer were pride, ambition and a desire for power. These angels rebelled against God and his authority to gain power and independence for themselves. They believed they deserved more freedom and power than God was willing to give them. Another reason why these angels joined Lucifer was the desire to be equal to God. They wanted to be seen as equal to God and be able to make their own decisions without needing God. They wanted to be free to choose their own ways and to be respected as powerful beings equal to God. But they were no match for God's power, and they were quickly defeated. In hell, Lucifer was filled with rage and hatred, and he swore revenge on God and all of heaven. He started building an army of demons and monsters to do this. The most prominent of Lucifer's demons and monsters are the fallen angels. These are angels who were expelled from heaven, described as giants or monstrous forms. They are incredibly powerful and possess a variety of magical abilities, and are generally loyal to Lucifer and his cause. Finally, there are the various monsters of hell, such as dragons, vampires, werewolves and other creatures of the night. He also created a contract that would offer people a deal they couldn't refuse. People will be assured that all their wishes will be fulfilled in return for a small payment. This payment can be anything that someone values, such as their soul, an item of personal significance, or money. In return, Lucifer will grant them whatever they desire, be it power, fame, wealth or any other form of success. Lucifer's contract will also ensure that all the wishes of the people will come true. They will be able to have everything they want without any limits. They can get access to the most exclusive items, money and experiences. They will be able to live a life of luxury and fulfill all their wishes. Lucifer can ensure that people's wishes come true, and they can make their mark on the world. In the Gospel of Matthew, it is written that Jesus was led by the Spirit of God into the desert to be tested by Satan. During his journey in the desert, Jesus endured a period of 40 days of fasting and prayer. On the last day, Lucifer appeared to Jesus to tempt him. Lucifer tried to convince Jesus to submit to his wishes, and in return he would become stronger. Lucifer offered Jesus the power to be the ruler of the world and the opportunity to gain control over its splendor and beauty. He also offered Jesus the opportunity to put his trust in Lucifer and bow down and worship him. Finally, Lucifer promised Jesus that if he did these things, he would not suffer death. However, Jesus refused the offer and instead chose to remain faithful to his Father, trusting and believing in God's plan for his life. Jesus rejected Lucifer's offer and instead chose to follow the path of righteousness. He responded to Lucifer's temptations by saying, Matthew 4 verse 10, "Stay away from me, Satan. For it is written, worship the Lord your God and worship only him." One more story has come to an end. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. See you next time.